everyone, welcome back to my channel, React and Chill. I'm Dika. So last time in Bleach, we had a little bit of a flashback sort of memory that Momo was going through. She remembered the time when she first encountered Aizen. So this is when she was still studying at the Soul Reaper Academy. Herself, Renji and Izuru were in the same class, they're in the advanced class, and one of the opportunities that class got were they were able to go as mock training with like mock dummy hollows. They were able to go and fight hollows in the real world, of the world of the living. So just before, I forgot if it was at the opening ceremony at some point, that's when she had come across Captain Aizen, and at the time Gin was his lieutenant. So something had happened while they're in the real world. The training unfortunately went south. We also meet one of the other lieutenants. He's a lieutenant now, Shoei Hisagai, sorry. So something had gone wrong, and as they were training, they weren't fully fledged Soul Reapers yet. They could not withstand the power of these hollows. So just as they were losing hope, Aizen and Gin came and they were able to get rid of the hollows. And I think that was probably power at first sight almost thing. So I think her admiration for Aizen started there. We also find out after reading the contents of the letter, after Momo read the letter, she knew who the killer was, and I'll go into that in a second. She escaped the cell. We found out, obviously, on the other side of things. Like I said, I knew it. It was confirmed that Kisuke Urahara was in fact the former captain of Squad 12. He was also the first chief of Department of Research and Development. He was their first chief. Now, I did make a comment of if he was doing similar stuff like Mayuri, or however was Mayuri just on some next up trip. Finally, we found out that the contents of Momo's letter had accused Toshiro as the culprit, or the person who was going to kill him. They also explained about how the the Sokyoku was the weapon itself. First of all, it had the power of 1,000,000 Sanpakutos, but because it was only used on captains, it would essentially absorb their power. And apparently the letter had mentioned that Toshiro was going to use this, so everything that's happening with Rukia's death, all of that was basically a setup, and they were going to use this to destroy the Serite and essentially end everything. As Momo confronted Toshiro, obviously Toshiro, after Momo escaped, Toshiro had his inkling as to where she was going to. He assumed she was going to go attack Gin, and obviously he was going to protect her. But she turned around and said that it was you. In the altercation, he ended up knocking her out, but turned his sword against Gin, who he was going to now fight, because he knows straight off the bat that Gin must be the one responsible for forging the letter. That he's like a little brother to her. So that's also their relationship. So he'll do anything to protect his sister, essentially. And one of those is going up against Gin, who he is literally about to start fighting. So now here we are with episodes 48 and 49.
Better move back, Izuru. Unless you feel like dying.
Don't bring your lieutenant into this. Oh my god.
Start running and don't look back. Because if you stay here, you're liable to get drawn into this.
Ooh. Gonna use that. Oh.
Evidently, the rumors about Squad 10's Captain Hitsugaya are true. A child prodigy of the sort that comes along only once every few centuries. You're really serious.
Izuru, just please leave.
Incredible. The level of his spiritual pressure is crushing.
Gin seems so calm, makes me worried slightly. Oh. Oh my god. is this? Is that from his own? Yeah. I was like, where did that come from?
I had better not underestimate you, or else I may wind up regretting it afterwards. Because you're going to start regretting this day right now. Remember, it's you who forced me to do this, Kaien. Rain over the frosted frozen sky!
Oh my god! That's sick. It reminded me of Dragoon, Tyson's Beyblade. Wow.
A dragon of water and ice created by overflowing spiritual pressure. They say it can even affect the weather. I've never seen it before, but there's no mistaking what it is.
Sick. And this is just the Shikai, I'm assuming. Not even Bankai. Ooh. Yeah, please. You're gonna... Ouch. That's your lieutenant. You're not gonna do nothing about. Oh, was that his arm? Oh shit, he's gonna stab him.
There's his flesh. Shinzo. Are you sure you want to dodge this? If you do, she'll die.
Oh shit. Oh, thank God.
Please, forgive me, sir. I was returning to my quarters as you ordered. Now, Captain Ichimaru, please put away your sword. If you refuse, then you're going to have both of us as your opponents.
You don't want that.
Only 2 days remaining.
Oh yeah.
Ichigo is growing with startling speed compared to ordinary Soul Reapers. His spirit energy has barely changed at all.
Hmm.
At the rate we're going, I don't know if he's going to make it. Can he achieve the Bankai release in only 2 more days? The grace period between Rukia's execution date was supposed to be 25 days. We've used up 21 of them already. That we still have 8 days left before Rukia's execution.
Okay.
So there's definitely time to extend the training. This 3-day program was created by Kisuke and tested using his own body. In fact, he's the only one who has ever succeeded, and that it would be dangerous to continue any longer than that. I'll give him an extra day, and after that, if there's still no change in his spirit energy, then we'll just have to risk it. What did you say?
What? I bet you they brought it forward.
Your execution date has been changed once again.
Tomorrow.
Your execution will be carried out tomorrow.
Oh my!
If you hadn't shown up there right when you did, Momo would surely be dead now. Thank you, Rangiku.
Yeah, he brought Shinzo back.
I'm not done with you yet! Instead of coming after me, maybe you should look after the Squad 5 lieutenant.
They've got it.
Again, you disappear without telling me where you're going. That's one thing about you that's never changed.
The part in there about using the power of Sokyoku released by Rukia Kuchiki's execution. Is that real? If it is true, if that's Ichimaru's aim, then I know what I have to do. You know what we have to do.
Yeah, they need to end
Stop
him.
the execution.
Oh! Like, end game.
The execution of prisoner Rukia Kuchiki is set for 29 hours from now.
The worst thing is, Yoruichi doesn't know that. How's she gonna meant to find that out? She thinks she still has 3 days. 2 days, sorry.
No I was wondering what you could be doing, holed up in this place. So, you're hiding out here and secretly training for Bankai, are you? Looks like fun to me.
Renji! I knew it.
What do you mean we're out of time?
Oh, he's gonna tell them.
What the hell are you talking about? They've announced it's going to be at noon.
Tomorrow.
Tomorrow.
like shit.
In fact, I'm close to achieving the Bankai release myself. I've already mastered manifesting it. Like this. So, if it's okay with you, I'm just gonna do my own thing here.
Zabimaru!
Ichigo, no! What if tomorrow comes and you still can't achieve
We can't waste time worrying about what ifs.
Failure is no longer an option. And the only option there is to finish training today.
Shit! I'm glad Renji's on our side.
The spiritual pressure.
Has it increased? I don't care if it's plot, but at least that's what she was worried about, unless he was hiding it.
I wonder if, before the execution, it would be worth begging for Ichigo and the others to be allowed to return to the world of the living. They might allow it.
Doubt it.
Even when I heard that my execution was set for tomorrow, I wasn't sad. That dream about the night I can never forget. I'm just an ordinary new member in the squad. Please try to treat me the same as everyone else here.
And the rest of us.
I heard you didn't even have to pass the graduation exam to get into the squad.
Hello, I'm Lieutenant Kaien Shiba.
Oh.
Welcome aboard.
Yes, sir.
What did you just say? What kind of greeting is that supposed to be? What's your name, damn it?
It's Rukia
Yeah.
Kuchiki, sir. A normal greeting. A normal scolding.
Oh.
A normal relationship between officer and subordinate.
Oh, so Ukatake had been ill for a considerable amount of time, by the sounds of it. Or he was in and out of illness. His personality, I mean, Ganju's the same as his sister, but his personality and the way his authority, the way he's quite authoritative reminds me of Kikaku, like his sister, so yeah.
What seat were you named?
But with my abilities, I wasn't able to qualify for an officer seat upon entry.
I see. You may go. And why is it you practically jump out of your skin every time you see me? You're hurting my feelings. I have to ask, what's got you so depressed? As long as you're a part of this squad, Rukia, I will stand by you even if it costs me my life.
Aww.
Die, Hollow! Well done, Lieutenant.
Miss Miyako, are you all right? Oh, yes, it was nothing, thank you. Miyako was Captain Kaien's wife. She had risen quickly to the rank of third seat officer in the squad. She was my idol. I admired her so much. I hoped someday I could be like her.
Looking
Then,
ominous.
And none of the Soul Reapers it's attacked have survived to report back. Don't be reckless.
I'll do whatever I can to put a stop to such evil. Miss Miyako, oh, don't worry about me. This is just a recon mission.
Sir, the recon team! There's bad news! The others are all dead, sir. All 4 of them.
Kaien,
Oh shit.
We've had our share of bad luck lately. Yeah.
I don't think that's her.
Miss Miyako, should you be out of bed so soon?
Shit. She's clearly been possessed by that hollow.
What's going on?
Yeah. He got in.
Stop it, Miyako!
She's trying to stop it.
oh, Kaien.
Let me go after her, Captain. She couldn't have gotten very far, sir. Very well. I shall go with you. What? You, Captain?
What is that?
Kaien.
Oh my god.
I'll go first, sir.
Captain, I beg of you. Permission to go fight it alone. Even now I'm having regrets about that woman, Soul Reaper. I regret not eating the rest of her. I was actually inside her body. Then I ate my way out of her and returned to the form you see now. Come on, boy. I'll leave
Oof.
Rankle the seas and the skies, Nechibana!
Oh. Oh.
What the hell? Once every night, the first one to touch my tentacles will see his Sanpakuto destroyed!
Captain!
If we were to step in now, what would become of Kaien's pride?
Yeah, remembered it.
The cost of such an act would certainly be the death of his pride forever. And remember these words. There are two kinds of battles, and those of us who have chosen to be warriors and to fight those battles. There are battles that are fought to protect lives.
This is exactly what
Right now, Kaien is fighting with all his heart and soul to defend honor, and his own honor. And above all, his beloved wife's honor.
Yeah, this is exactly what she remembered.
Shut up. I don't need a sword or anything else to handle scum like you. We'll see about that.
Oh.
Lieutenant Kaien!
What is it with you, girl? Why do you keep repeating my name again and again?
Captain!
Rukia, get out of here.
Our spirits are united. It can never be undone.
Oh.
I see. You leave me no choice. I won't let his body become food for a monster like you. Now die!
And he can't fight. Clearly, he's going through it himself.
I didn't have a plan.
She's gonna kill him.
My captain. Thank you for understanding and for letting me fight. But thanks to you, I'm saved. Now I can still leave my heart here.
I ran away because I was afraid to fight. The only one I saved was myself. I'm not worth shedding blood over.
Yes, to tomorrow.
Well, what are you going to do about it?
Why should I do anything about it?
I'm a little bit annoyed how Kaien died. I understand for pride and stuff, but
Whether she lives or dies is none of your business. I trust you'll refrain from taking any reckless action.
damn it. As episodes 48 and 49, those are really good episodes. We got a chance. Ooh, we got to see the outcome of that fight between Gin and Toshiro. So clearly, Toshiro had enough of Gin. After obviously, there were a couple of things that he mentioned which were true and interesting. Firstly, how much of Aizen's letter was forged, how much of it was real, especially regarding using the Sokyoku, yeah. So using the Sokyoku to essentially destroy the Serete and the Soul Society. So he was wondering how much of all of that stuff was true. So when he was fighting up against Gin, we got to see his Sanpakuto release. So Hyorin Maru, which I compared it to Dragoon, so from like Beyblade. Looked amazing. Even Izuru was impressed. So he had already warned him to get out of there because he wasn't essentially not going to be liable if he caught bodies. However, as him and Gin went up against each other, Gin had mentioned that obviously this is the power of the prodigy child. The fact that someone like him only comes every 1,000 years. So I'm really interested to hear more about Toshiro's background and backstory, as in why he became a Soul Reaper. I knew that he grew up with Momo, but as in that point in time when he was a child, and how did he transcend to start training? Because he was making those comments a couple of episodes ago about he would never become a Soul Reaper. So as Toshiro had Gin in his clutches because he was literally about to stab him, Gin released Shinzo, which Toshiro was able to dodge, but it was going straight for Momo. But luckily, Rangiku was there to stop the blade. It kind of smacked into her Sanpakuto, and eventually she warned him to say, if you don't back off, it's going to be 2v1. So he ended up taking back his sword and ended up leaving. And he even said to Toshiro, don't worry less about me and, look after your lieutenant, not your lieutenant, sorry, look after Squad 5's lieutenant. So, like I mentioned, he was going back to thinking of, prior to that, as the training was still carrying on for Ichigo, Yoruichi had found out that Ichigo's physical strength was increasing, but not his spiritual strength. That was lacking. While she was doing some quick maths, realizing that, the amount of time they've stayed in the Soul Society, they had about 21 days, and then her execution was brought to 25 days. So essentially she had about 3 days at first. So basically, as soon as he mastered it, he had to go get Rukia. But she thought she had a bit of a grace period because she was worried that she may have to train Ichigo a little bit longer. 3 days may not be enough. Obviously, we found out how it was Kisuke who had created this method, he even reached Bankai level using this own method he had created, and he even pointed out to Yoruichi that Ichigo is much more stronger than he is, so he should have no problem getting to that level. However, we did get hit with the fact that, again, I don't know who's pulling the strings above, that Rukia's date was literally brought forward again, but literally 29 hours, they said. So literally the next day, she was going to be killed. This obviously worried Yoruichi, because she felt like that wasn't enough. She was thinking if 3 days weren't enough, she was going to give him one more day. It was already dangerous to do this method. 3 days was the minimum and the maximum, and doing the 4th day was already dangerous enough, let alone trying to get all that training done within the day. And not just that, this was announced across the whole Serete. All the other lieutenants and captains were made aware of Rukia's imminent execution, which obviously, this, I didn't mention, this information was brought back to Yoruichi via Renji, who had sensed they were training, and he said, I'm going to come down here and I'm going to train. At my current state, I can't get Rukia, so he was like, I'm near Bankai level myself, and he first of all saw Zangetsu of Ichigo's Zanpakuto's true form, and that he went off and released his Zanpakuto's form, Zabumaru, so he was going to be doing his own training, and Ichigo said to Yoruichi, basically, I've got today, I need to do it today. And with this news announcement of her execution being brought forward, Toshiro had said to Rangiku that essentially, you know what we have to do. We're gonna have to stop the execution. If he believes that what part of that letter was correct and that her execution is essentially going to lead to the destruction of the Soul Society, then we need to get involved and make sure the execution doesn't happen now. So they're obviously going to be getting involved and making sure they stop it, because we don't know how much of that, as he had mentioned, is actually correct in terms of the consequences this is going to cause. And again, it must have some truth to it because of the fact that her execution date was brought forward, and the lack of, not, I want to say sympathy, but help that is actually coming from the Kuchiki family to help stop this execution. But I'll come back to that. As Rukia was sitting there thinking about her imminent death, she realizes it's fine because she was hoping to plead to her family to let the Ichigo and everyone else go home, to go back, so that would be her final plea. And we also saw when she first met Kaien, when she first came to Squad 13, Kaien was the lieutenant of Squad 13. We found out that he was the only one at the beginning, or even at the start there and then, who treated her like a normal person. That's what she always wanted. She wanted to be treated normally because of her status as being a Kuchiki person. And I think that's what I remember. I keep forgetting his name. He said it at the time when I forgot his name. He was in the stealth squad about Rukia's reputation. She was the princess of the Rukon district because she became a Kuchiki. So she was aware of that. She said, everywhere I go, I always hear it. But it was nice that Kaien had treated her like any normal officer, any normal person. And that relationship she built with him was something she liked, essentially, because she was being treated like a normal person. She got a chance to be part of a normal squad. So she mentioned how she looked up to Kaien. He brought her comfort. It was a nice feeling. So it was a nice relationship. And we also met Kaien had a wife who was also, she was the third seat, and not Renaissance, a recon mission, they were attacked by a hollow who clearly, from what he had mentioned, got inside her and used her body as a puppet to kill her men. So when she was back at the barracks and she had, arisen, she started killing people. Obviously, Kaien got there. He was trying to stop her from attacking his captain. And I think momentarily she didn't. Maybe she was able to hold back to stop herself attacking her own husband. So Kaien had asked his captain, can I go after her? I need to, she can't be far. So Ukitake and Rukia went along with him. So then, like I said before, we come full circle. We see that flashback she had. As soon as Kaien had jumped the hollow, the hollow's power ended up destroying his Sanpakto. So he didn't even have not the hilt, but he didn't even have the whole of his Sanpakto, he just had the hilt. I think I mentioned before, I think Ganju has the rest of his Sanpakto. That hilt thing that he carries is his brother's destroyed Sanpakto. So apologies, I didn't catch the name of what it was called. So he started fighting, and Ukitake basically said, we need to, basically, if you jump in now, you'll ruin his honor. Which I'm a little bit annoyed, purely because I understand he was there as a lieutenant, avenging his wife, avenging his comrades. But the fact that it wasn't a case, it's just so frustrating. I mean, fair enough. This hollow, first and foremost, is completely different. He physically got inside Kaien. And even as Ukitake was trying to figure out how to kill the hollow without hurting without ending the life of his lieutenant, even the hollow was saying that's not going to work. You're going to have to for you to get to me, you're going to have to kill your lieutenant. And the hollow was shocked when Ukitake went for his throat, which we know was one of the wounds that was on Kaien's body. The multiple Sanpakto wounds would have been when Ukitake was trying to fight him, and he was trying to, because by the looks of it, Rukia just stabbed him right through the heart, and when he essentially fell on a sword, but Rukia had stabbed him right through the chest. So that kind of goes back to the story. However, I'm wondering, so clearly it wasn't down to jealousy. It was just, I feel like this is probably beyond how, unless I'm looking into it, how did that hollow end up there? What was going on? Was there something more to that? This particular scenario doesn't exactly explain if there was any if there explains any issues between the Shiba clan and the Kuchiki clan. Because I'm assuming Byakuya would have been made aware of what had happened. He clearly was very involved in what she was doing, as she had to report back to him to let him know that her skill wasn't strong enough for her to get to be made a seat, an officer seat, one of the higher ranking officers. So I wonder how involved he was with her progress within the squad. And maybe because of the death of his brother, which had such a huge impact on Ganju, I wonder if a lot of that story or what of that was distorted. Personally, I wonder who knows that unless Ukitake and Rukia decided between themselves, we're not going to tell anybody what had happened. Like because Rukia admitted that I was the one who did it. So that's the bit I don't understand. Wouldn't this information have been told to his near and dearest that he died in a vengeance to saving his wife? Like, unless they mentioned it before, something doesn't add up there. So when Ukitake obviously got heard wind of what had happened with Rukia's date being brought forward, he went and confronted Byakuya to say, aren't you going to do anything about it? And Byakuya, just how he was throughout the whole series so far, was like, you know what, the game's the game. It was brought forward, nothing could be changed about it, it's going to get done. So I'm wondering if there's a bigger conspiracy theory regarding her death, regarding why she was even brought into the Kuchiki family. We know that it's unlikely that when you pass on into the Soul Society, you ever see, say, other people that had passed on again. So I don't know, were they tracking Rukia? Was Rukia a certain particular special target? If it's anything to go by, when Rukia was not in the advanced class like Renji, they had particularly selected Rukia to go into squad that to be adopted to the Kuchiki family, and she didn't graduate. So she within that year was put onto the one of the 13 court guard squads. So again, I don't know if it's something fishy. I don't think there's a bigger major plan. I feel like there's something bigger involved, especially Byakuya's lack of empathy for her. Like Ukitake had rightly said, that is your sister. And by the looks of it, I don't feel like anything really had happened. She joined the 13 court guard squads. The 40 years that she's known him, ever since she got adopted, so those 40 years she's known Byakuya, he's never looked her in the eye. He's never looked her face. So again, I'm just wondering if there was a bigger plan for Rukia. Was she like some sort of sacrificial lamb or something, that someone that was brought on into the family? So I'm really intrigued. But I'm also intrigued by the coup. You can literally call it a coup now, because we've got Toshiro, his lieutenant, Rangiku, and potentially going to stop the execution, because they know that's essentially potentially leading on to something worse. And you've obviously got Ichigo, that's now Ichigo and not Rengoku, Ichigo and Renji now training alongside Ichigo to get stronger, to essentially save her. So there's going to be like almost like a revolution per se, to not only stop the execution and obviously save Rukia. So I'm intrigued to see how all of this is going to come together, because I do believe Byakuya has a bigger part to play in all of this. It's whatever Aizen was hiding, wasn't hiding, Gin was after, whatever's going on there, there's definitely a bigger role to play. And I'm also wondering, so far there's Byakuya, Gin, Aizen prior to his death. Are there other people within the Soul Society that are involved in this? Like other people that are aware of the happenings that are going on? So I am interested to see, and I really do hope we get a bit more information with the Kuchiki, about the Kuchiki family, because I really do want to know a bit more on why, if Rukia was just a random person they selected, or if there was a particular reason for her being adopted. And that was it. That was, again, a really good episode. And as always, if you did like this video, don't forget to give me a like, subscribe, and let me know down in the comments below what your thoughts were. And I'll see you guys next time.